Memories. Memories.
Hello, and welcome to Rob singing a song. I'm Exolite, and this is my podcast. And as we know, Rob is here. Hello, Rob.
Hey guys, sorry about that. Thanks, Chase, for throwing me under the bus.
I think you did a pretty good job of that. So, how are you today, Rob?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm okay. It's early for me. It's 7 o'clock in the morning, which
And it
apparently does
is
exist.
1 o'clock in the afternoon for me.
Um, do you know that it's not quite light out? And it's just between dark and light, and I really hate that time of day.
Why?
I don't know. It gives me nerves.
Okay.
Just so you know. Um, Before we get started, Rob, I would like to say this. We are going to be doing the 31 days of Halloween. If you think, gee, Exodus isn't around as often as usual, you are right. Because I am doing about 3.5 months worth of content in a couple of weeks. So my full-time job is bloody cats, people, witches, scary things, hauntings, haunted buildings, haunted road trips, and makes it a little difficult to sleep at night. To be honest with you, I'm even watching scary movies.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, we watched a scary movie the other night that had I don't know what it was called. It was called something about it was called Hell's Gate, and it has the guy uh, Vigo Malago, blah blah blah, from this TV show This Is Us, and it was actually pretty good. It was very weird and not bloody scary, bloody dash scary, because I don't like gore, and it was kind of a surprise. I thought it looked like when it started out it was going to be a B movie, you know,
Yeah.
but it was actually pretty good. So it's on, I don't even know, Netflix, maybe Amazon Prime, possibly. And my dog is trying to eat my microphone. Try and go watch that if you want to get started into
I'll have to have a look
Halloween
for that.
time. Yeah, do.
Hell's Gate.
Hell's Gate, yeah. Um, anyway, if you guys would send me your scary stories, your own personal encounters with the paranormal, or if you would rather write a story that's scary, or if you would prefer to do a voice recording, send it to me. You can Dropbox it to me, and I can put that on there. But we would really like to have the community involved, and we've got a couple of stories so far, which I've already put up. Um, Mark, yours is October 3rd, and Amy, yours is October, I want to say 11th. Is that what I told you, Rob, was 11th?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So, if you guys would like to do that and participate, that would be a lot of fun. The more, the merrier, I think. And so, if you're not subscribed, and I have no idea why you wouldn't be. I just don't know. Go ahead and do that. And if you'd like to be notified when my content goes live, go ahead and click that button. Also, there is something in common with every video I put up, whether it was sent to me or whether I've done it myself or whether it's a podcast I'm sharing with somebody else, which I'm trying to do, set up a couple of podcasts with a few other people. There is some thing in common with every single video. It's a little Easter egg. So if you can tell me what that thing is in common, that would be awesome. I'm going to give away a gift card to Amazon in October. So participate and leave comments, and let's be the little community of outsiders that we are. And you can get some free money. So what do you think about that, Rob?
That sounds really good.
Do you know, Rob, what it is that every video has in common? Because I did it last year too, except for I missed one video last year and I think it was my first one.
I haven't got a clue.
Okay, I did the exact same thing last year.
You've not told me, so.
All right,
it's
well.
News to me as well. So there you go, guys. I know as much as you.
I don't know if you remember, Rob, but last year I had queued up my first video for the day, and 2 of them went up on the same day, accidentally. And so I started off October 1st, messed up already. And hopefully that won't happen again. Hopefully I learned my lesson. But I think that was the day I messed up the time. So, I did 2. One. I think they even came on at the same time of day. Even I don't know, it was weird. So if you guys can go find my little Easter egg and let me know, that would be awesome. All right, Rob. What are we talking about today?
Well, we've already done it, haven't we? We've already did it 3 weeks ago. But
well, sort of, we did.
So, we're going to be doing it. We'll do it again for your time travel.
Yeah, but it was something different about time travel. I think you did a video by yourself, maybe. I don't know what it was.
No. No, we haven't.
No. There was a disappearance in the national forest. And, or no, it wasn't a national forest. It was a weird disappearance. And the guy went around his horse and buggy and disappeared. And a lot of people thought that he was perhaps a time traveler. So that was in the headline, possible time traveling. And then another strange case. So we got to talking about time traveling, and then we thought, let's do a video.
Yeah.
Let's do a podcast about time traveling. And especially now that we know we have 2 parallel universes. I swear to God, my head is in both of them at the same time sometimes. So, do you want to start, Rob?
Yeah. Today, the first one today is the time-traveling hipster. And it's a photograph from 1941 of the South Fork Bridge in British Columbia being reopened. And there is a group of people dressed in 1941's garb with their little hats on and a shirt and tie and all the old vehicles and just looking. And there's one gentleman in the middle of all this, and he has a T-shirt with something printed on it.
Yeah, it looks like an M, like a Marvel shirt or something.
He's got wraparound glasses, dark wraparound glasses, which really, I mean, the more I look at this photograph, I have seen this photograph before, but the more I look at this photograph, the more he does look like he's out of time, and he's got what looks like a new or modern camera, or modernish camera, and even the strap for the camera looks like it's got printing on it as well.
He's got like those really popular woolly looking jackets.
Yeah.
That like everybody wears right now. And it looks like even a hoodie in the back.
Yeah, yeah, he does look very, very out of place.
He's not clean shaven, which would not be the
No, that's true. That's a good point, that, Trace.
that would not be that time. His hair is cut in a style that would not have been that time, or styled in a time. That would be when they would use all that hair product and make their
Yeah,
hair a helmet.
he looks like someone famous to me. He looks like someone, I don't know, a pop star or a singer or something. I don't know who it is, but
Mm.
it's really, really strange.
Well, of course,
Um,
there's been a lot of people who try and debunk this and say that his sweatshirt could have been like a Michigan State sweater. But the guy is wearing a hoodie, which didn't exist, a sweatshirt, and a jacket, a fuzzy jacket at the same time. I don't know. Was it was it 20 degrees out? I don't know. And the camera is modern.
yeah. Well, if you look at the guy that stood to the side, well, there's a guy stood to the side of him who's got a shirt and tie on and a suit and a hat, like a trilby hat. And then there's a lady stood
Yeah.
to the side of him who's got a hat on and she's wearing glasses and she looks like she's wearing a sort of suit type thing. And then there's a gentleman stood sort of right in the front who's got a hat on and he's got a
Yeah.
shirt and tie and suit, and everybody is really, really dressed differently.
Yes. Yeah, nobody at all looks like him. But at the same time, he's not drawing any attention. It's very strange.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's interesting. Um, I'd like to believe that this, and the photo, by the way, has not been manipulated. They have the original photo that you can go look up from the news. And yeah, that was 1941. So I don't know. This one seems kind of reliable to me.
mm,
It's my favorite one, actually. Okay, so all of these, by the way, somebody has tried to ruin it all for us and said that there's reasons for why they look like they're time traveling or why they said they were time traveling. And, there's always got to be those. Well, there's always one. Has to ruin it all for the rest of us. Um, Now, according to a TED video, have you ever watched TED videos, Rob?
um, is it like the lectures?
Yes.
Yes, I have.
Oh God, you know me. I love stuff like that and documentaries. And whenever my husband goes to say goodbye to me in the morning, he says, "What documentary are we watching today?" And it's always, well, I have a range of taste, I guess. Well, according to a TED Talk by Colin Stewart, the Russian cosmonaut Sergei Krikalev actually did time travel, technically, because he went 0.02 seconds into his own future due to what is called a time dilation during the time he spent in the International Space Station. Krikalev had spent a total of, this is amazing, 803 days, 9 hours, 39 minutes in space over the course of his career, plus 0.02 seconds. But this time dilation actually put him into his own future, which I think is very interesting and very strange. I always joke about, getting on an airplane, and for instance, we flew to Hawaii and the time difference was like 5 or 6 hours. later than it was here in Texas. And that was a very bizarre concept that, if I called at 10 o'clock in the morning, it's actually the same time difference between you and me.
Yeah.
And it's hard to keep track of, but we joked that it's time traveling, which of course it isn't, but it feels weird because we arrived there before we had left like Denver or something. Anyway, mine is going to be okay. The Moberly Jourdain incident. In 1901, two English women, Anne Moberly and Eleanor Jourdain, took a vacation to France. And while they were there, they visited what? They visited the Palace of Versailles, obviously. And while they were at Versailles, they visited what's known as the Petite. Is it Trianon, Rob? I'm asking you like you're a French expert, but you do live closer than me.
Oh well, that makes me a French expert then.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Petite Trianon.
Oh,
whatever
God,
it is.
she's got enough of accent to do.
Petite Trianon. Whatever. It's the little chateau. Okay, so let's just call it that. The little chateau on the palace grounds that Louis XVI gave to Marie Antoinette for her private space to hang out and do whatever it was that teenage queens did when they were relaxing. So it was her women's shed.
A vacation home.
Well, it was on the ground, so instead of a man cave, it was her whatever they call that. Like whatever the point of the story is. It was hers and hers alone. Well, while they were there, she shed, that's what they call them, she sheds. Okay. While they were there, they claimed that they saw an odd occurrence. They said that they spotted people wearing anachronistic clothing, heard mysterious voices, and saw buildings and other structures that were no longer present, and indeed had not even existed since the 1700s. Finally, they said, they caught sight of Marie and Rob, are you there?
Yeah, what's happening?
I'm sorry, there's a missing child thing going off. Okay. Let me get back to where I was. That's an Amber Alert. So they saw Marie Antoinette drawing in her sketchbook. They claimed that they had fallen into what is called a time slip and briefly transported back more than 100 years before being jolted back to the present by a tour guide. Rude. Did they really travel back in time? Well, this says probably not. Various explanations include everything from a folie à deux. Now, this is ridiculous. A folie à deux means that they both had the exact same hallucination at the exact time. Deux is for two. Folie is hallucination. And they say that that's what happened to them, and that's why they saw what they saw. It is something that disturbs me greatly that when people who are more than one person see something, they always say that it was a mass hallucination. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think that happens.
No. It's just people scared to admit that there could be something supernatural, paranormal, or unearthly happening.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I think. So, whatever it's worth, in 1911, roughly 10 years after what they had experienced, the two women actually published a book about the whole thing. They went under the names Elizabeth Morrison and Frances Lamont, and the book is called An Adventure. These days, it's available as The Ghosts of Trianon, and you can go ahead and buy it if you want, which I actually might do. But I feel like that feels realistic to me. I Since they both saw the same thing, unless they were like, "Hey, let's go and pretend we did this and make ourselves look like nut jobs."
Yeah.
That's the thing people I think forget. When you come forward and say, "Hey, this happened to me," you are really risking looking like a nut job. And back then, you could be put in uh, jail.
Looney bin. Yeah.
Yeah. So it wasn't on the top of your list. So anyway, I think that's a good one.
Mm.
I would love for that to happen to me.
Yeah. Well, scientists, they are more leaning towards, they think it could happen, that time travel could be possible. You know, obviously not in the mainstream science, but
Well, no, actually, what I can't think of his name. The man who was in the wheelchair passed
Stephen
away.
Hawkins.
Stephen Hawkins believed that time travel was possible. There is more than one coinciding universe, and we
Yeah.
could time travel. Um, which is the only way there could be, because going back in time, it's already happened. It's not still happening. I mean, I'm not Stephen Hawking, so who am I? Tell Stephen Hawking that he's not right. But we did find a whole second, um, you
Universe.
know, time, yeah, frame universe going on at the same time, with opposite of ours. So, it seems kind of like it is very possible.
But what about people who, take myself for instance, I've had really, really vivid dreams of stuff that happened that replay from when I was younger. And what's to say that I'm not time traveling in my sleep?
Hmm.
You know, people could say, oh, it's just a dream. It was just a really, really real dream. But I've had some really, really vivid dreams about stuff. And I don't know. Am I traveling to another dimension, or am I just dreaming, mundanely dreaming about something that has already happened? I don't know. But
I don't know. It would be the ultimate stone tape theory
yeah,
if we could go back into our lives.
yeah.
Um, if you could go back into your life, like let's say you go back to your 15 years old, are there things you would change?
Is that a question?
Yeah, no, I'm asking you. If
Oh, you're asking.
and the outcome, by the way, would mean that your life today could be completely different.
Hmm.
Are there things you would change?
There would be things that I would like to change, but then I think to myself, then if things would have been different, would I still have my children? And you
Hmm.
know, even though going through tough times and stuff that wasn't pleasant, I've got to this point with my girls, and would I swap them for having an easier life? Well,
Right,
probably not.
right.
Probably not. So, I mean, it's like you come out of your house when you were young, so you're on your 15th birthday, and you turn left instead of right.
Yeah.
What would make it? What, would your
Yeah.
life just still be the same, or could something have happened to you, or could you have interacted with someone if you'd have gone a different way that would
Right.
have changed your life completely to what it is today?
Right.
It's like the butterfly effect, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
Are we? But then you could say that your life's already mapped out for you, so
Yeah.
it wouldn't make any
Oh,
difference.
yeah.
So
That's true.
it's difficult, isn't it? This is a kind of not a problem, but when you're doing a podcast like this, it can lead anywhere.
Yeah.
You can go down any rabbit hole, you know.
Right.
And
I think I would not change anything. But what I would like to do is tell myself it'll be okay. You know, it'll be fine. It's going to work out. And just tell myself that and then like take the memory away from myself but leave the feeling there. I wish I could do that. All this stuff you're going through, all the stuff that's gonna come up, it it'll be okay. Just relax and enjoy the good stuff more and just brush off the bad stuff a little bit more so that you don't spend your whole life scared and nervous and anxious and all the other stuff. I
yeah,
wish I could do that. I wish I could sit next to myself and be like, hey, I'm older than you. And just relax.
yeah,
You don't have to do anything different. You don't have to play anything different. The cards you're dealt are the cards you're dealt. Just enjoy it and then get rid of the stress because it'll be okay. I would love to do that.
yeah, yeah. That's a good point and a good way of looking at it.
I wonder,
So,
you guys below answer. Why don't you guys answer that? Would you go back and change things? Because I know that like losing a loved one, I have lost 4 best friends. It's a dangerous job to be my best friend. And I can joke about it because that's the only way I can not cry about it. But 4 best friends. What if I stopped that? What if I stepped in and saved myself that? Or my mom dying when I was, really young, or recently my dad passing away. If I stopped that, would that snowball into the fact that my life would be a chaotic something different? You know, I
yeah,
probably would, and I'd be a different person.
it's a bit deep, that.
Sorry, if you guys want to charge me for that. Anyway, but it has to. The question has to be asked if we're going to do a time travel
Oh, yeah, yeah.
podcast. Would you, given the opportunity, would you go back? And I totally would go back. First off, I had a great time with most of the time. I had, you know,
Yeah,
really, really rough things, but I also had, a lot of nice things that I totally would go back. Would I go to the future if I had a choice to do that? No, I don't really want to do that.
no,
Would you want to
no,
know the day you were going to die?
no. I wouldn't want to know that.
I wouldn't want to know that either because talk about stress. Then I'd have to like try and let's say it's next week. Knock on wood, somebody out there, knock on some wood. Let's say it's next week. I'd have to try and jam in like everything I ever wanted to do.
The only way I would like to know the day that I was going to die would be so I could get everything in order for my daughters and make sure that everything was in place. But other than that, no, I wouldn't want to know.
I think I've told my kids. I think my kids know everything they need to know. So, they'd be okay. Okay. Wow. That was a rabbit hole.
Yep.
Thanks for coming. If you need your psychiatrist's phone number after we're done, Google that. Okay, so what's your next story?
Right, my next story comes from 1962 in the World Cup final, 1962, where Brazil won. And there is a photograph of I should know who this player is, but I don't, Brazilian player holding the World Cup up after they'd won it, surrounded by people with cameras, big box type cameras, taking photographs of him holding the World Cup. And right at the front of him, you can't actually see the person, but there is a guy, or
Hey,
presumably
Rob,
it's a
can you
guy,
tell me what year this is?
1962.
1962.
Yeah. And someone has got a flip phone and taking a photo.
What?
Yeah, I'm enlarging the picture now. It is a flip phone.
Okay, I'm getting
And
this picture out.
1962. Have you got it yet?
What? Yeah, I do.
Can you see it?
Yes, I do.
Look at all
What?
the other cameras. Then look at that.
That? What? That's so weird. I mean, look at the camera, like towards the top right.
Yeah.
You know, that guy is holding like a friggin' TV set. Wow. I just said TV set, by the way. That nobody has said TV set for 120 years. Wow. That is crazy. Huh. Interesting. Look where it's pointed, though. Oh, kind of weird. Huh. Okay. So, my next one is going to be. I would like to do this. Hold on a second. I have another way to do this one because I'd like to do it that way. So hold on a second. Okay. Um. I'm sorry. This one doesn't have a. Okay, here we go. John, I think it's Titor or Titor, Titor, Titor. I don't know what that is. Titor.
Teeter.
Okay, so
Teeter.
between 2000 and 2001, an online bulletin board user who self-identified as John Titor became popular as he claimed to be a time traveler from 2036 on a military mission. He said that he was holding many of the world's interpretations as correct. He was holding the many worlds interpretation as correct, and consequently, every time travel paradox is possible. He stated that Many events which occurred up to this time would indeed occur in this timeline, and that included a devastating civil war in 2008, a short nuclear war, World War III in 2015, and that was going to kill 3 billion people. So that didn't happen, obviously. Um, he disappeared in 2001. And now I need to go back to my other thing because I want to talk about him from another page. Let's see. Tracy. Oh, sorry. I'm. Okay. So, from another angle, John Titor is perhaps the most famous person who claims he's time traveled. The trouble is, no one has heard from him for 17 years. Also, he claimed he came from the future. The story is long and involved, but the short version of this is in a thread that began in the fall of 2000 about time travel paradoxes on the online forum of Time Travel Institute, now known as the Curious Cosmos. A user responded to a comment about how the time machine could theoretically be built with the following message. Wow, Paul is right on the money. I was about to give up hope on anyone knowing who Tipler or Care was in this world line. By the way, number 2 is the correct answer, and the basic for time travel start at CERN in about a year and end in 2034 with the first time machine built by General Electric. Too bad we can't post pictures or I'd show it to you. The implication, of course, was that the user, who was going by the name, by the way, must be his undercover name, Time Traveler 0. Yeah, that was like a shh. Came from a point in the future during which such a machine had already been invented. Over the course of many messages spanning from that first thread all the way through the spring of 2001, the user, who became known as John Titor, told his story. He said that he had been sent back to 1975 in order to bring an IBM 5100 computer to his own time. That's a big ass computer. Like a room full of computer. He was just stopping in 2000 for a brief rest on his way back home. I think I'll stop in 2000 for a vacation. The computer, he said, was needed to debug various legacy computer programs in 2036, which he said was identical to what they thought was going to happen in Y2K. But where he came from was called the year 2038 problem. John didn't call it that, but he said that Unix was going to have an issue in 2038, which is what we thought was going to happen when the calendar clicked over to the year 2000. Opinions are divided on whether John, whatever his name is, Titor, was real. Some folks think he was the only real example of a time traveler that we've ever seen, while others think it's one of the most enduring hoaxes that we've ever seen. Now, his father said that he was mentally ill, and that people would charge him thousands of dollars for these things that he was supposed to take back, and he would pay it. And his father was really, really upset that they were taking advantage of somebody who was mentally ill. But the reality is, I mean, if let's say it's true. Okay, let's say it's true. If I were the government, and who's to say I'm not? If I were the government, wouldn't I go, somebody get a father real quick and discredit him by saying he's mentally ill? I mean, that would be the obvious solution, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, how do we discredit this guy? Well, we say he's mentally ill and he can't be held responsible for his own words. And Then they take him away, which happened. He disappeared. So, is he one of the only real examples of a time traveler? Or was he somebody who was mentally ill? The fact of the matter is, the more we talk about these things, the less I trust the government, to be honest with us, about it really, basically anything at this point. Guess what? It's Wednesday. Oh, bull crap. I don't know. Show me a picture. It didn't happen. So, who knows? I want there to be time travel. Not that anybody cares. There are things that I really want to believe that are real. I just really would like it if that happened. Because the world is really kind of a not very exciting place sometimes.
Not at the moment, it's not.
Not at the moment, no. But time travel would be really neat.
Mm.
All right, okay.
But things can only get better.
Is that true?
Yeah, we can't get any worse, can they?
Never say that. I have to go knock on wood now.
Come in.
You can't say things can never get worse. And the second you say that, a car drives through your living room window and runs over you on your couch. Yeah, never ever say that. They could always get worse. Okay. What about you, Rob?
My turn. The Time Traveling Sun Seeker. The image is from 1943. Apparently shows British factory workers escaping to the seaside for a break during the midst of wartime. The clothes and beachwear of most people certainly fit the era, but in the centre of the frame appears to be a man dressed like Mr. Bean, checking his mobile phone. Let's have a look. Yep, there is definitely a man in a full suit, baggy suit, and he looks like he's checking a mobile phone.
Okay, tell me again. What year is this?
Hang on. 1943. The time traveling sun seeker.
Okay. Okay, let me see. I want to see this guy.
Right in the centre of the picture. He stood up. You found the picture?
No. I'll get there. I have to travel in time. Okay, let me see. Oh, here he goes. Okay. Oh, yeah. That's weird. Why does he have...
He must be boiling.
but hello. Below him is another guy in a suit with a hat on and everything. Do you see him?
What, in the deck sat down?
See, I sat down.
Yeah.
What the hell's that guy doing? It's below him to the right.
Yeah.
What? Why are these men at the beach with their suits on?
Uh-oh.
This is an altogether strange picture. Huh. That's weird.
He's definitely looking at somewhere in his hands.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. Huh.
The only thing about the mobile phone is it wouldn't work.
You just ruined it for me.
Unless it was specially modified.
Well, they're time traveling, so they gotta have figured out shit like that, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I mean, they have got to have figured out some simple things like how do we get the phone to work?
Maybe it's his device for time traveling.
Maybe it is. And he's all like, "Get me off this beach. It's hot." He doesn't even look rich, like with a well-fitted suit or something.
I know.
He does look like a Mr. Bean kind of character. Like his
Yeah.
pants are 3 sizes too big and interesting. Enjoy that, Rob. Okay.
Have you ever watched Star Trek?
Are you kidding me?
The original series, the one with Mr. Spock and Captain Kirk and what?
Well, yes, I haven't lived in a cave.
Well, there are certain episodes of Star Trek where I can't remember how they do sort of time travel a little bit, and they come down to Earth, and they get captured by these people in a military installation, and their communicators and their weapons. Obviously, they've never seen them before, but I think to myself, everything when I was a kid and I watched Star Trek, it was the stuff they were using was so far-fetched. You would think the world would never be like this. It could never be like this.
Mm-hmm.
But now, their little communicators were just like flip phones.
Yeah.
And obviously now we have computers that you can talk to, and you can use. It's
Apple Watches.
Apple Watches, yeah, and everything. We've surpassed that.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. If you think back, this has got absolutely nothing to do with time travel, by the way, but if you think back to when you were a kid, we're a similar age, could you have imagined tiny thin TVs? Could you imagine a smart TV where you can talk to it, and all them channels and streaming movies and phones where you can ask the time and I can ask my phone to set me alarm, and just you wouldn't, if someone told you when you were a kid, you wouldn't believe them, would you?
Yeah, it's just like every time we do a podcast, not my phone, it hasn't happened yet, but my watch thinks I say its name and comes on and answers a question. And it's funny because when I first got it, well, there's a walkie-talkie setting on it, and so me and my husband, my 2 girls, we have Apple Watches, and so we would talk on the walkie-talkie and be like, "Oh, there it comes."
I didn't catch that. Could you try again?
He's such a jerk. And we would be like, "Bring me up, Scotty." And last night I went into my bedroom to find my headphones, and there's a flashlight on my watch, and so I turned my flashlight on my watch and was looking around my bedroom with my watch, and then I turned the flashlight off. And at the time, I thought, man, would I have thought that was freaking cool when I was a kid. I never, and if I had seen those, like let's say we'd gone to a science fair and there was something like that. Like I also on one of my wrists I wear this thing called it's called an Ember Wave, and it goes on your pulse point, and you push if it's really good for people with anxiety. If you push warm or if you push cold, it warms you up to cools you down 11 degrees and warms you up well past that, but you have to okay it, and I don't want to burn my arm off, so I don't. But it is it's really amazing, and I walk around and I wear it, and I feel cold. I make it warmer. If I feel hot, I make it colder. And I was at the doctor's office this week, and it was hot in there. I made it colder, and I just thought, if I had seen stuff like this at science fairs, we would have thought we will never be rich enough to afford stuff like that. Rich people are going to have stuff like that, right?
Well, yeah, it's like if someone, it's like when you were 10, if someone brought an iPhone, and just says, "Here, look, this is my phone," and
Yeah.
you wouldn't be able to believe it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you wouldn't believe it. That I can watch anything I want to watch. TV, videos, anything on my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always think about that. Like, my great grandmother was born in the early 1800s, and I just think she didn't even live long enough for grocery store doors to sense you coming and opening. If you brought back people, they would be like, "What is this magic?"
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool time to be alive. Well,
Yeah.
maybe not this year, but in general. Okay, so it's my turn, right?
Certainly is, Tracy.
Okay. So let me see. My next one is called Project Pegasus and the Chrononauts. In 2011, Andrew D. No, Biasaggio and William Stillings stepped forward claiming that they were I give up. Good night, everybody. In 2011, Andrew D. Bisaggio and William Stillings stepped forward claiming that they were former Chrononauts who had worked with an alleged DARPA program called Project Pegasus. Project Pegasus. Oh, did you work for this project as well?
I've heard this, yeah.
Project Pegasus, they said, had been developed in the 70s, and in 1980 they were taking a Mars training class at a community college. That's funny. The college presumably functioning as a cover for an alleged program. Okay. When they were picked to go to Mars, the mode of transportation, teleportation. This is something my husband would have given his life for. But the problem is Basaggio and Stillings also said, when did this come out? 2011. They said that then 19-year-old Barack Obama, who they claimed was going by the name Barry Soetoro, at the time, was also one of the students chosen to go to Mars. They said that the teleportation occurred via something called a jump room. The White House denied that Obama had ever teleported to Mars. Can you imagine? Can you imagine having to release that statement? The president has never teleported to Mars. Oh, well, if you're addressing it, then guess what? I bet he has. So, then, and that was given by the spokesman for the National Security Council in 2012. So, they never proved or disproved that these guys did that, or that Barack Obama did or did not go to Mars as well. But I think he didn't. He might be a lizard person. I mean, with a queen, of course.
What's this got to do with time travel, by the way?
They time traveled. Well, they didn't time travel. They just teleported to a different planet. So that's considering, I guess, time travel. Considering they would normally take you, 25 years to get to Mars, but it took them a matter of minutes.
Well, the thing that I'd heard, which is very, very similar, is they took them as kids, they trained them, they sent them to Mars, they learned all this special survival stuff, and they went and they fought for the world, like against the aliens, and then they've transported them back to when they were kids.
Oh.
And they remembered all this under hypnosis, because obviously you can't prove it, because according to them, it even though it was like years and years, it only lasted a night because they time traveled. They you know what I mean?
Yeah. Huh.
Obviously, it's something different because that. But when he said DARPA, that rung a bell. So maybe it's similar.
Huh. Well, did those people claim that Barack Obama was one of the people?
Nothing about Barack Obama, no.
Huh. Well, I heard some crazy stuff about Barack Obama back then. So that wouldn't have surprised me if I had heard that too. Interesting. Well, I think the thing is I don't understand two people coming up with the same thing. If it's either real or it's a hoax, that's how it has to be.
Yeah.
Two people can't come up with the same thing like that and have it not be real, or have had them sit down and had some serious, like, we're gonna really pull a prank.
Yeah, I agree.
I really don't understand the concept of why you would do that. It's not like you get money for it or anything. If people think you're a nutcase. But here we are talking about them.
Well, there you go.
See, there you go. They got the 15 minutes worth of fame. I don't know. It's up to you now, Rob. I'm throwing the ball to you.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the Mohawk time traveler. But this image comes from 1905.
Okay, let me look this up. I gotta check this out. You have pictures. I don't have pictures of mine.
You see, you're working with the best. That's what you get.
I was just gonna say the same thing. Mohawk
time traveler.
Time traveler. Okay. Let's see this guy. Okay.
The image. Hang on. It happened at the time, including workers and banana boat delivering its goods. However, if you look near the edge of the boat, you can see a man in a white shirt with what appears to be a Mohawk style haircut. a very unusual haircut for the time, and possibly proof that time travelers exist. Who can say? And I'm not convinced on this one because he just looks like a scruffy effer who
Yeah, he does.
who needs a bath. I don't know about anything
He
else.
only has one suspender, for God's sakes.
Braces.
What?
Braces, they're called.
What? Suspenders are called braces?
Yeah,
What are they bracing?
they're holding his kecks up.
Yeah, they're suspending them.
They're called braces in this country. And if they're called braces,
thing you put on people's teeth.
if they're called braces in this country, then it's right. That's the word you should be. Tracy, you've gone all muffly.
I have.
You have.
Am I better?
You're better now.
Thank you. Sorry, I was time traveling.
Yeah, I'm going to give this one a wide berth, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think he looks like he totally belongs there, and he, I don't know, had a drunken dare or something.
Yeah, someone's maybe he had headlights, so they shaved his head.
Maybe so. I don't understand. Where's he supposed to have traveled from? Where he'd be wearing a mohawk, like the 90s or something, 1990s? Because he certainly doesn't look that doesn't look like one of those mohawks. They'd be standing straight up.
Yeah.
And if I had come from the 90s and I was suddenly put on this fishing boat thing when I was time traveling, boy, would I be pissed off. This doesn't look like any fun at all. All right. So, here we go. Let's see.
Come on, Chase.
Okay. Like Anne Moberly and Eleanor Jourdain, Senior Royal Air Force Commander Sir Robert Victor Goddard. Do you know him, Rob?
Well, obviously I do, because he's got the same name as me. Like Grace. Grace thinks that everyone called Robert is. We're all like one big family. We know each other, so yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's British.
Well,
So.
that's nailed on, then, isn't it?
Yeah, that's all we needed. He was widely known as Victor Goddard. He claimed to have experienced a time slip. In 1935, Goddard flew over what had been the RAF station Drem in Scotland on his way from Edinburgh to Andover, England.
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh. Why did they spell it like that?
Well, I don't know, but it's not Edinburgh.
Well, it looks like it.
Well, put your glasses on or something. I don't know.
Okay, so I was so proud of myself. He had gone from Drem, is that right? Drem in Scotland?
How's it spelled?
DREM.
Yeah.
On his way from Edinburgh.
Yeah.
To Andover.
Right.
England.
Yeah.
Okay. The Drem station was no longer in use after demobilization efforts following the First World War. It had mostly been left to its own devices, and indeed, that's what Goddard said he saw as he flew over it, a largely abandoned airfield. On his return trip, though, things got pretty weird.
Spooky.
He followed the same route he had on the way there, but during the flight, he got waylaid by a storm. As he struggled to regain control of his airplane, he spotted the Drem airfield through a break in the clouds. And when he got closer, the bad weather suddenly dissipated. But the airfield wasn't abandoned. It was busy, with several airplanes on the runway and mechanics scurrying about.
Dun,
Within
dun,
seconds,
dun.
though, the storm reappeared, and Goddard had to fight to keep his plane aloft again. He made it home just fine, and he went on to live another 50 years. But the incident stuck with him so long that in 1975, he wrote a book called Flight Towards Reality, which included the discussions of this whole time slip thing. Here's the really weird bit. In 1939, the Drem airfield was brought back to life. Did Goddard see a peek into the airfield's future via time slip? Or did he go back in 1935? No one knows.
That's really interesting. I really, really, really think that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. Yeah.
I think that sounds viable.
Yeah, very much so.
I enjoy that
sounds
one.
It sounds like something you would see over the Bermuda Triangle more so than
Yeah.
in Scotland.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Dun, 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 dun.
Do you have any left?
Have I got any left? Of course I have got loads.
Okay.
I've got two.
Okay. Okay.
The film extra. Film footage captured during the recording of Charlie Chaplin's 1928 silent film, The Circus, appears to show a lady dressed in black, wearing a hat, and walking round talking on a mobile phone.
Uh-huh.
The footage, if a little iffy, they wrote it, not me, as is the idea that anyone could be talking on a mobile phone device in the 1920s. But it's certainly got some suggestions that it might prove time travelers are among us. And it does look like she is. She's either talking on a mobile phone or her hand's stuck to her head.
Yes. Yes, it doesn't make any sense. And her hand is shaped like she's holding something square.
Yeah. Unless she doesn't want that. Unless the lady that's in the front of the picture, unless she thinks if I hide my face, she won't be able to see me.
But she's only hiding her ear.
Yeah. Can't see that. Kids do, don't they? If they hide their eyes, you think, well, that's it, I'm invisible.
Dogs do too.
Do they? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. They braid their heads and they're like, if I can't see you, you can't see me. Yeah, that picture does look like that.
Yeah.
You know, we did that UFO podcast about help me, what's his name?
Travis Walton.
Travis Walton. And Travis Walton said that he saw human people on the space, whatever he was at, spacecraft, that looked human. And I really can't get that out of my head since then because, he passed all those
Polygraphs.
lie detectors and all that stuff, and he's all said that he was telling the truth. So what's weird to me is I can't get it out of my head that he saw space aliens or / they were human working with aliens,
Yeah.
and therefore, is it not possible that perhaps these people aren't time travelers, but space aliens that are trying to fit in?
Yeah.
But they kind of took a left with the exact time. They did their best to get them fit somebody in to the time they should be, but then they gave them a camera that didn't belong. or put clothes on him that didn't fit, or here's your communication device, put it up to your ear to speak to us.
Yeah.
So is it, here we go down a rabbit hole, is it possible, because it really bugs me now to think that maybe when you walk by somebody and they give you a feeling, maybe they're not a person. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
maybe there are maybe there are aliens amongst us, which would
Well, it's funny.
explain my brother, Uncle Mike.
Well, it's funny you should say that. Can I do one more now, just quickly,
Yes.
because the ancient astronaut sculpture
Okay.
in Salamanca, Spain, there's a cathedral with multiple sculptures carved into its sides. One such sculpture appears to show the likeness of a modern day, or perhaps I can't say this word, futuristic astronaut. Considering the cathedral's construction dates back to 1513, people have taken this as proof that time travelers made their way back in time. However, the truth is that the astronaut is merely a modern addition to the artwork carried out during renovations in 1992. Well, that's a bit of a shit show, isn't it?
Yeah.
Got me all excited then, and just kicked me in the balls.
Let me see. What's this called?
The ancient astronaut sculpture. Yeah, but why would he carve it on the side of a church? Even if it in
Yeah.
1992, the Egypt. That makes no sense.
Let's see.
What's he holding on to? Oh,
Let
it
me
looks
see.
like.
Let me see. This doesn't make sense. Who did they said carved it in there?
What?
What did you say that they said was? What did you say about 1992?
Hang on. However, the truth is, the astronaut is merely a modern addition to the artwork carried out by Geronimo Garcia de whatever during renovations in 1992. But okay, there was renovations done in 1992. But why would they put on the side of a 15, 13-year-old
Yeah.
cathedral an alien, an astronaut?
No, I don't believe that. Because first off, it's not even a modern alien. It's not it wasn't even a suit from 1992. It looks like a suit from 1960s.
Yeah.
And he's literally wearing moon boots, which I wore in the snow. Why would anybody add that to a 15th century? I want to see some before pictures when it's not there. But it's not showing any before pictures. Hold on, let me see this. Oh, before there was a tiger looking weird thing holding some balls. This is making sense to me. See, Rob, this is a before picture. I'm going to send this to you so that nobody knows what I'm talking about. That's the before picture. That doesn't even look anything close to what it does now. And it is one of the pictures His arm is broken off and his face is all busted. That wouldn't have happened since 1992. Something's weird about this. I don't like it. I'm not enjoying this.
Well, that is the weirdest picture I've ever seen. He looks like he's got. It looks like he's licking a cock and balls.
I told you. I did.
He
I
does.
didn't say it like that.
Sorry, but he does.
I know. I didn't say it like that, but he does. And
Either that, he was singing karaoke with a cock and balls. He's still there.
I'm here. I'm here. I tried to go about it in some sort of classy manner, but that's not even including what's going on behind him. Nobody should have carved that in the first place. I think that's in a different place. This is weird. Something's wrong with this. All kinds of wrong. I don't enjoy it. It's creepy. So I say no. Did you see the picture with somebody riding an astronaut riding a bicycle on a cathedral in Spain? I don't
know.
I don't know. I don't know, but I don't know about that one, Rob. It can't be right. I don't even know what I'm seeing here right now. Well, I do at that one.
I'll tell you a funny joke after. Just reminded me of a funny joke. Can't really say. Well, I could, but I don't know.
What?
I could say it on here, but.
Okay. Well, you can if you want. I don't know. I don't know. Is it gonna get me demonetized?
Probably.
Okay. I just lost all my information about time traveling. So hope you're happy about that. I probably did that to myself. So do you have anything else?
I have. Hang on, where's it gone? Do you know who? Where's he gone? Jimmy Fallon is.
Yeah.
Well, there's a picture here of from 1972 of a guy, black and white photograph of someone who was born in 1946, and he's a spitting image of Jimmy Fallon.
Well, I've talked to you about this too. That Nicolas Cage has been seen in all kinds of different times. So if there is a time traveler, it's Nicolas Cage, or the Cage genes, well, they're actually Coppola genes, are so strong that you have to be born looking like Nicolas Cage in every era. It's very weird.
Oh. Hang on.
Okay. You looking them up?
I've got another one here, the Time Surfer.
Okay, I got one.
This is weird. It does look a little bit strange. Another image of an out-of-place individual that people have latched onto as proof of time travel is a reality. The image dates back over 100 years and shows some smartly dressed Canadians sitting on the side of a hill. On the left-hand side, though, sits a young man who appears to be in a t-shirt with shorts, ruffled hair. He was quickly referred to as the surfing time traveller due to his unusual attire. Others have suggested people in the photo appear shocked by his appearance, even pointing out the woman on the right who seems to be gesturing in his direction. Let's have a look at the woman on the right. I can't see that woman on the right, but there is a guy sat behind him who sort of sat away from him. So, what are you just
Time
like that
traveling surfer.
for? The time surfer.
Okay, let's see. Time.
There's a woman on the left-hand side. There's a woman with a hat, dressed in white with a white hat, right above her.
Okay, let's see. Let's see if I can see this. Oh, yeah, he totally doesn't fit in. Well, he really doesn't fit in because it's like the 1800s, 1917. Huh. That's weird. Nobody would have dressed like that. Oh, shite.
Oh, I can't believe it.
What?
I found one here that's unbelievable.
Is it the woman
No,
covering her face and holding a camera?
It's the dabbing World War II soldier.
Oh.
Oh, it's a bloody, it's a fake. It's a fake.
Huh.
I'm all time travelled out now.
Are you?
Yeah.
There's lots and lots of pictures out there.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it's very strange. Huh. There's a picture of a guy behind JFK who totally doesn't look like he should be there.
I got that one.
And
No, I haven't got that one.
there's a guy. Oh my gosh. See, here's what I don't know. Are they fake? Are they not? Are they fake? Are they not? This is like in the 1940s. This guy's holding the phone, taking a picture. But could he have been like, could he have been, um, you know, put in there? Could the photo have been manipulated? I don't know. I have a story. I do have a story about another one. And this one's kind of weird. This one is hold on, Andrew Carlson. Andrew Carlson was supposedly arrested in March of 2003 for SEC violations for making 126 high-risk stock trades and being successful in every one. As reported, Carlson started out with an initial investment of $800 and ended up with $350 million, which drew the attention of the SEC. I wonder why. Later reports suggest that after his arrest, he submitted to a 4-hour confession where he claimed to be a time traveler from 200 years in the future. He offered to tell investigators such things about the whereabouts of Osama bin Laden and how to cure AIDS in return for lesser punishment and to be allowed to return to his timecraft, although he refused to tell investigators the locations of his working craft. A mysterious man came in, posted his bail, and Carlson was scheduled for court hearing, but he was never seen again. And records show that he never existed.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. And he did like every single one of us would do. We come back, we start like betting on baseball games, getting lottery tickets. He's all like, I'm going to invest and I'm going to make $350 million. The problem is, dude, when you go back to your own time, well, I guess that'll work because you could still use, even if it, like, let's say he has to go 30 years ahead, you could still use money made for right now, right?
Yeah.
You couldn't go back in time, and you can't go too far ahead in time either
No.
because that money gets destroyed.
Yeah.
Or you could put it in the bank, and then when you go ahead and just deposit, you just deposit in the bank. When you go ahead in the future, that money is still in your bank, and it's earned interest all those years.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I gotta go. I got some business to do. Got some trading, stock trading to do. That's a good idea. Well, Rob, I liked talking about time traveling. You're going down a rabbit hole of pictures, aren't you, right now, Rob?
Yeah, I was looking at lots of pictures. I'm sorry.
I know. I know.
Yeah, I just put it. Put it all in again, and it just come up with loads and loads of pictures. So we could have been here for days.
Well, I appreciate you coming and doing this.
Oh, it's okay. You know that.
Well, we have for the 31 days of Halloween. We're going to be doing a podcast on Skinwalkers. I have been requested to do a follow up to Zach Bagan's Demon House because Brian from Diabolical Witness says it's got more information in it. So
I haven't watched that yet. You know.
have you watched my podcast?
I've listened to the podcast, but I haven't watched the. It's on Netflix, isn't it? I think. Demon House. It's either on Netflix or from me and.
Why are we having this problem today? Why can't we speak?
I don't know.
Well, I think it was on Amazon Prime, to be honest with you. But I'm going to do the follow up, and Jory and I did the first podcast. As a matter of fact, I believe that was my first podcast.
Yeah, Demon House. Yeah.
Yeah.
On Amazon Prime.
So I'm gonna do a follow up to the Demon House and see what's changed and what has more information has come out. My daughter and I are gonna do a podcast about lesser known serial killers, and which we did one Halloween before, and then last Halloween she was pregnant, and I don't know what that has to do with Price Rice, but we didn't do one. But we're gonna do that, which I really love doing. Some people get like really famous, which is, gross. But I watched a documentary about the book I'll Be Gone by Night. I'll Be Gone into the Night. Anyway, it's by Patton Oswalt's wife. She's passed away, but and it's about the East Side area rapist in the 70s and 80s. And I would like to do something about that as well. He was very well known in that particular area. Sometimes there's serial killers and things that are known in one area, but the rest of the country doesn't really know about it. this is one of those kind of cases. He was caught because his daughter did a 23andMe DNA test, and it showed up that a match, near match to him, came up on the website. By the way, if you think you have a serial killer in your family, you might not want to go to one of the DNA testing websites, because unless you want them arrested, which would be good, because they could track them down. And so that's an interesting topic too, about how we are starting to catch serial killers from their family members going to DNA websites. So, because I mean, you don't know your uncle's a serial killer, right?
Right.
My brother, I do know. If they came to my brother and was like, Uncle Mike's a serial killer, I'd be like, not surprising. But we're going to do that. I'm going to interview, I hope, we're going to interview Brian. He's got so much stuff going on. Right now, Brian is in the middle of a war with other paranormal channels, and it's getting all riled up. So I'd like to talk to him about that. And anyway, we have just a whole bunch of stuff. Plus, he went to the Washoe Club overnight by himself, filmed the whole thing. I stayed up as long as I could and watched it. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning. So, stick around. There's all kinds of cool stuff coming up. And we've had stories given to us from subscribers. Please do that. Please send me your things. I have spaces that I've left open for you guys to submit your stories. And I would really love it if you did that. Don't feel shy. Don't feel shy. Don't feel embarrassed. The story doesn't have to be huge long. And if it is huge long, that's fine too. It'll be great.
If I could do it, anyone can do it.
Well, the first time I ever did a podcast, I almost threw up. I was so nervous. So don't worry about that. Go ahead and don't be nervous. I will give you all the credit in the world. I will treat you with kid gloves. I won't embarrass you. Please send them. And let's have a great 31 days of Halloween, because you guys, we need it. We need some uplifting, scary shite. There's nothing that says happiness like death and murder. Right, Rob?
That's the one.
You got anything to say, Rob? By the way, we have merchandise. Put a link down below.
Yes,
Go ahead
we
and
have
buy
some.
it.
Yes, we have some wonderful merchandise. Really, really good.
Yeah, get it for Halloween. I go bump in the night. I'd rather be scared. Stuff like that. Also, there's Christmas coming up. Think of it as gifts.
Yep.
And Rob and I have a donation to the channel that we're building up money so that Rob and I can go on a trip to the New England area. And we just really want to go and film this and show you guys how scared Rob is of everything. So
Okay.
Rob and I huddled up in the dark, holding the camera. My nose is running, and we're like, I heard a noise out there, Rob.
Yeah, okay.
It'll be great.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's it. Wanna
Just
say
stay
goodbye,
safe.
Rob? Yes.
Stay safe. Look after yourselves and your loved ones. Until next time.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Guten Morgen. All right. Bye.
Bye.